subject is this old house, and it it was chosen because of the various values in those clean shadow lines. And if I were to do a Notenizer, which I did, now we're going to do a value sketch of this, a painting. But when I look at that, I see four, I hope I see four values. I see the white, and where it's white, we're going to tint that just a little bit. And then there's this second value after that. See that second one right there? Can you see my arrow?
Mm-hmm.
That arrow, that's the second value. And then the third value is this deeper, probably looks like about 60, 70%. And then the last value is black. So it tells us that there, we want to break this down. Now, when you paint this, so if I put down and lay down the first value, what I would do is, this looks a little darker than what it is, but I lay down the value. I didn't do the trees on this because that's one that you can easily come back and also decide whether you actually want to put the trees in or not. I don't know. So I just lay down the first values, and you have to really look close to see these because I'm willing to lay down that the white is already there. It's that second one. So this is my approach to get the second one down. And then if you go with the third one, which I haven't done on this as an example, we'll do today, is we'll add the third, but we'll paint this first. We'll paint this and use this as our guide to paint. And then we'll go over top of this with the next value, and then we'll paint that. And then the last value is the darkest. The darkest is where most of the detail comes in. And so that's where I started to lay in the fourth. Yeah, this is the third value. This time I'm painting it in color. And you see it's the, I think this is the, third value. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 values. What I'd like to do is just show you this. I pulled a clip from Andy, and I went. Let's see. This is the right one. Hold on. Yeah. So here's his value study, and let me know. Make sure you can all see this. Oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. I forgot to turn the volume off. Well, turn your volume off. I forgot to take the volume. Yeah, you will not understand what he says. But turn your volume down when this is played. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to stop that. I think I can fix that. So this is okay, good. You couldn't hear the sound on him, could you? Could you hear him talking? Okay, good. Oh, all right, I had it fixed. Anyway, let me set this up. So this is what we're going to do today. And we're not using this, but this is the one that Andy did at the convention. And what I did is I took snippets of it. And this is a fast forward. And what he does, he's doing a value study and just doing the first value and just painting it with black. And the idea is to really be able to take a look at, see if I can, here we go. So he's laying that value so that you get the values really correct. If you get the values right on any painting, I think you're 70% there. And of course, the other get the drawing right, and then the last one is get the colors right. But I've seen colors that were off, but the values are right, and it still made a beautiful painting. So I think this is an example of how he just goes through and quickly lays down the value study. And then the next clip I'll show you. You see, it's just he drew it 2 times, and I gave you asked you to do yours twice. Hopefully you did. All right, and then let's take a look at him. There we go. Now he wet the paper down.
You know, we can't
And
see
what he's
him.
now going in, he wets both the front and the back of the paper. And what he's doing there is laying in some of the tones. And this would be the that lightest, the second tone that you see.
We're not seeing anything,
We
Ron.
don't see
Second
anything.
value, I mean.
Ron,
Ron, we don't
he's
see anything.
suggesting the type of color it is. He's not really so concerned about it being dark. He's really looking to get that tone, and that will dry a lot lighter. So he comes in, and notice he predicts his whites. That would be the 0 value, the first value we talked about. So he just goes in and lays that in. All right.
Ron, we can't see it.
And there he goes. And now, wait, here's the now he comes back and start putting in the next value in place. And look how that's coming out.
We can't see it.
He put a little green spot there just to suggest that green tree that's
Ron, Ron, we can't see anything.
And he does paint this fast. Yeah, right.
No.
And then so he's not done. And then the last value is the darkest. And that's where the detail really starts to shine. Now, he's going back in with the dark, and watch how this pops. Patricia, Patsy, did you have a question?
Yeah, no, but we can't see what you're doing. We lost you. I see Marilyn. I see
What was that?
me. I see the background is something else.
So anyway, look and see, he's putting in the detail last.
No, Ron, we can't see it.
What?
We can't see
No.
anything.
Oh,
We haven't
dang it.
seen any of it.
Oh my goodness. You know? All right. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. Let's see, I must have picked the wrong one. Yeah, of course, then I muted you, so I couldn't hear you. That's good. That's great. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Pick the wrong screen. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, can you see that?
Not yet.
All right. How about now?
Yes.
All right.
All right. Now then.
All right, he's putting down, this is doing a value study. And
Yeah.
basically, he's putting down the first value. And what he's looking for is really looking at the shapes, and he's protecting the white. And what this does is it really helps you in your painting, because you'll refer to this so that you get the values right while you're doing the painting. So many times, and I'll be one to confess that as I'm painting, I sometimes forget, and I get my values off. And you can get the color off, and you can even get the drawing off a little bit. But if you get the values wrong, you don't have a painting. Anyway, values do all the work and color gets the glory. That's the saying. And I think it's so true. So anyway, he's going to go through and we're going to do this also. And then now he paints. And this time this is the second piece of paper. He wets both sides and he puts in the tonal values, the lightest tones, and just giving that those little colors that sets it off and gives you the base. And those are being left. You'll watch how he uses this. But look at the colors he's using. Little greens in there. He used a gray roof. And notice none of the edges are sharp. He is not worrying about painting trees, barns. He's not even thinking about a barn. He's just putting in colors where he thinks it should be. And by keeping the keeping the paper wet, now it's starting to dry, and now you can see some detail. But as it dries, yeah, you've got less, you can get sharper edges. But he's just putting in those shapes. Let me fast forward. Okay, now he's going in with the next value. It's the one that we're looking at on the upper left of the screen. That's what he's using. This is where he's painting that one. And as he's doing it, he's just not making it solid. He's now painting and thinking about what colors should that be using the appropriate value. Isn't that nice? So he keeps looking over at his reference value study and making sure each of those values are just like what he did. Look at that. And again, not a whole lot of detail. The detail comes on the darkest. The last value is where most of the detail will come into play. And I'll show you that here in a second. So now he's coming back. It looks like he's putting in some of the value shapes. Yeah, he got those values in and got the color of the roof. But still, he's using the value study as his reference. All those values are very close to his value study. So then that's what it looks like when he is pretty close to done with that third. This is the third layer. And then he comes back with the detail. And you can see this is where it pops. And so this is like the darkest, it would be like the black. I didn't show it to you, but he added to his value study. You can see in the upper left, he added the darks to that, to the value study. He's referring to that now. But it is a great way. Yeah, he scratched that with his fingernail to get the line. But you notice keeps looking up at that value study he painted. There's a little negative painting, pops that tree out. And not a lot of detail. Look at his people. No detail hardly at all. Just enough to tell you that's a person. And it suggests that they're working in the garden. So I fast forward toward the end. Look at the detail now. The detail come with that last. No detail until the last one. And that's where he gets the value, the dark value to enforce and accentuate. And so there's the finished painting. Okay. let me stop. Once I had to figure it out, it worked a little better. Any questions? All right. We're going to give it a try. Let me, yeah, that's. So the first thing we're do is, we're going to put the tone value down first. And what I'm going to do is, we got to be ready to paint. So before we wetten this, I would suggest that you get the values ready or the colors that you want to use.
Do you want us to do the value study first, though, Ron?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's all right.
Yeah, someone got flustered there over that video thing.
You're among friends. Don't get
All
flustered.
right. Yeah, I'm not a perfectionist. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix black. It doesn't matter if you have black already, it doesn't matter. But I do suggest you not use like a dark blue or anything like that. Stick with black. We don't want any even suggestion of color. So I'm going to take my Notenizer, or you can go directly if you want. And the reason I'm going to use the Notenizer is I want to make sure I don't get confused, because sometimes people can't see it in a color print. So I'm going to come through and I'm going to mix burnt sienna and ultramarine blue to get my black. I think you can see, yeah, you can see. Look and see if you can see my palette. Ultramarine blue and black. And the value we want is it to be about 30%. So if you look on your, so I'm going to make sure you mix up enough to do the whole thing. That way you get the values right. It needs to be a little bit lighter. There we go. And I'm going to test it real quick, make sure it's right. Yeah, maybe a little darker than that. So getting it dark is just adding some more pigment. That's probably better. Yep. All right. So I'm going to look at this, and you can use the drawing or the reference photo or the Notenizer. And I'm going to come through and just put those first values I see. And when you do the tree, make sure you leave some white spot or let the sky come through. And generally a pine tree like this is mostly a vertical line with horizontals. And so when they get down to the bottom, they're older and they begin to droop. The ones at the top, they curve up, and they get to the bottom, they tend to curve down. I'm sure you all knew that. And I'm just going to go through, and you can see I'm just getting this first. I'm not painting, well, I can't not, but I'm painting that value, the mid-tone right in there. It's going to help me when I go to paint this. Make sure you leave some white spots in these boughs. Don't make it a solid tree. Ever see the white spots I left? Very important. That starts the discipline of painting this. And you got a better chance of getting it right. And down here, the boughs start to bow down because they're older. And I'm going right across here. That's just, and everything down below will get the value. basically, I'm painting everything but the white. You can think of it that way. A lot of ways of doing this. Gotta make sure that little shed off the edge. That's solid. And I got white in here for this, for the house. And so down here, this will be all solid down here. And up here, there's some little, just a few little, weeds, or they're probably weeds as old as this house. Can't imagine those being flowers. In the edge of the building is defined by the values down here from the tree, and it'll be the sky. So make sure you get the edge right there. You get some that go over and stop there. And then I'm going to put these values in. If it's not white, paint it. And this will be what the first value that, or second value we add when we start our painting. This will be what we'll be painting. And as we paint it, we'll paint it with the colors that are appropriate. So everything that's white, leave it. I'm using a pretty good sized brush. I don't want, I hope you're not using a #1 brush or something like that. We don't want too much detail. To keep us from doing that, is use a little larger brush. And we're not too concerned it's going to be absolutely perfect, obviously. Let's see what I do with my paper towel. If I can pull that out. Yeah, there we go. I'll pull that. Got a little carried away there. But anyway, hope all of you are enjoying this. Anybody have any questions while we're painting everything but the white? I'm even going to put a couple of these little lines in there. Make sure you get those. If you put the lines for the siding, be sure you get them right in perspective. I've got some lines on there to suggest it. It's where a lot of people kind of mess up when they go to put that paint down there. I forgot what I was going to say now. That's the problem with painting and talking. I'll stop talking so much. I don't want to hear you cheering. Yeah, there's a little bit of white in here. I'm gonna leave that little white there. It's like and that door here has some white in it. So if it's not white, paint it. And it looks like a little bit of that post is white that I just painted. Oh well. I'm painting the tree, putting the value for this tree, making sure I leave some whites to show through. So I remember to do that when I go to paint this. I'm not going to paint the tree on the left. Um, that's kind of an executive decision. And, you know, I make lots of executive decisions if it suits me. All right. Got a little blossom, but that really doesn't matter. The point is we got a nice value study. So let me know when you're finished there. We'll move to the next step. So this should be one value. Even though the paint kind of settles differently, painting flat. How we doing?
Ron,
Yes.
hey, I really should have had the original farmhouse picture
Yes.
in front of me. Also, because I get lost in what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
And
You didn't get the one I sent you?
oh, I have it.
Oh.
I have it. It's just not in where I can see it right
Oh,
now.
gotcha. Gotcha. Do you want me to
No.
you want me to show the original?
Well,
Too late now, huh?
yeah, that's okay. I'll be all right. I mean,
Okay.
I understand, but I just want you to know what my
Okay.
issue is here. So
All
thank
right.
you.
Okay.
I'm having fun. I love
Oh,
this.
okay. Good.
One thing that I do love and has helped tremendously is doing the notan,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that helps a lot.
it does. Um, and what I think after you've done it a few times, you don't need to notanizer, but
No,
you kind of
yeah, I hear you.
once you get your brain around it,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I got you there.
All right. Is everybody done? Marilyn, you guys are done?
I do, but
Okay.
I may have gone about it a little differently.
Well, of course you did.
You're not surprised.
You're not supposed to do it exactly like the teacher. Beautiful. Okay.
All I did was that mid value, and I just kept thinking about what Andy said about connecting,
Uh-huh.
connecting. So I tried to make one big shape that connected, except for those windows. I had to at least put those in, but
Beautiful.
that's helpful for me. I
Good.
have found this technique very helpful.
Okay. Good. Jennifer, how'd you do?
Here it is.
Yeah, very nice. Yep. Now just pretend that's all one value though. All one value there.
Yeah, I couldn't stop.
I know. Yeah. And Rob, did you get
Oh, I'm behind.
why are you so dark there already? See that dark block
Oh,
there?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Not
that's all
sure.
right. All right. Now, what we're going to do, this will be our reference photo to do the rest, the next phase of the painting. And what I want you to do is have some of the colors. So we're going to wet both sides of this. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to lay down some color. We're not going to really paint or try to make it look like a lot, but where the colors like are the green or the grays, anything that we want. If we want the house not to be stark white, we might play a slight layer there, just a tone. And the first thing we'll do is we'll wetten both sides. Now, once we get this wet, so I'm gonna, people use a brush, a sponge. If you have a nice soft mop that works, don't use a synthetic brush on this. And the reason is the synthetic doesn't really hold as much water. And you want it nice and soft. So just a nice layer of water on that. I turn it over and I'm going to wet in the back side. Looks like I've already started my painting there. That was where I tested the values that was painting. So just a nice, I'm going to let that kind of soak in. Doesn't take very long. turn it back over. I'm gonna look, make sure I don't have any. So I'm gonna hold it up just to make sure that I don't have any puddles there. Lay that back down. When you lay it back down on your board, it kind of sticks, kind of nice. And so I'm going to pick out from the photo, the color photo, I'm going to look for some of the tones. So one tone I definitely see is that blue sky. It's really a pretty blue sky. And I'm going to set, now watch, this is very important. Do not let it get dark. This is only about 10%. See how light that is? Don't let it get dark. This is just, we're not painting skies. I'm just painting some of the tones. I'm gonna come back, put some green in there. And I see some over here, kind of like that. Look, I'm just putting in, it's about a 10% color. All right, so I got kind of that's just a suggestion of what is in the background. Gonna add a little yellow to my blue, because I know what that makes.
Out, Gracie. Going out. It's going out.
And you can see my palette over here. I'm just gonna put just some suggestions. See the color of that green over here? I'm not gonna use that yellow green. Watch out, don't use that stark green that some people use. It's like a yellow green. I'm just gonna suggest there's something in here. The top of this roof looks like it's almost like a green. And then over here, I'm going to go in for gray. I'm just putting tones in. I'm going to leave that white. The horizon line, just, oops, a little brown back there, maybe. That's too dark. Ooh, there we go. Then I'm going to use some burnt sienna tone up here in the front. I just want a slight burnt sienna. Keep that really nice and light. Nice and light. Notice there's no hard edges. Just laying down some color. That's about all I want to do right there. You notice I'm not painting. You see me painting any trees? No, I'm just laying some color in the areas. Just one, oop. There we go. I'm just laying in some color that might come in handy later as that the lightest value. And we don't want anything darker than that. If you've got anything dark on there, you've made it an error. It needs to be almost a 10 or 20% value, nothing darker. So anything we put on a wet background will have no hard edges. It's going to be very soft. That's what's nice about this step is you have no hard edges. And we don't want any hard edges. So if I was doing this, not teaching a class, I would probably just not blow it dry. I would just let it sit here and let it dry on its own. But since we're in a class, we're probably going to need to use a hair blower.
No, come here. Get over here. Come on. In the house. Here. Good girl.
All right, if you're still working, you're probably overworking it. Let's see what we got. Who's first? Marilyn, you want to show yours?
I'm working really fast, so I may
you
be.
are?
I
Oh, you
I
are?
am. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Because once this paper gets wet, I don't want to lose it. So
Okay, you're going ahead and putting in,
I
Well,
did the
this-
whole, I did the
well,
light wash over
okay, yeah,
everything.
yeah, now it's drying, so you can put the, okay.
I
mine's
dropped-
not- Yeah,
But it still gives these wonderful, I'm loving the fact that I can keep some soft edges. That's
okay,
been a bugaboo for
Okay.
me.
yeah. I mean, that's really a great way to do it. Anybody else? Okay, nice. Yeah, very soft, very good. Now we're ready to start putting in some detail. It's still a little bit wet, and I think to Marilyn's point, I'm gonna do the same thing. When I paint, I'm only painting. This is my reference painting now, or drawing. I'm gonna put that value in. And as I put it in, I'm gonna make sure I have the colors. And it's only gonna be that value, which is like looks like about a 30%. And so you can see, I'm going to go ahead and put in my colors here. And you're right, by it being just a little bit wet, you don't get any soft edges. So I think that was a good catch there, Marilyn. And what I'm doing is just starting to put in those colors. And this is kind of a drab green I'm putting in. It's the same as this right here. I'm painting this now. But instead of it being gray, I'm going to use some colors. That's the value I'm putting in right now. And all the colors I'm putting in now maintain a nice soft edge. And I read gray. So it's going to be, I'm going to go along and do the same thing I did before. It's still pretty wet. And we want it, we're not paying any details yet. So everything is very soft. And then I'm gonna come down here with my burnt sienna. With mixing it a little bit here and there. So I did on the cold side, I put a little violet in there and blue. Kind of think that might be cool, letting that show through. All right, I'm going to draw it off. I will. I know you guys want to hear the dryer, but I'm going to turn. Okay, now that I have my tones in, I'm going to come back and um, so what I did is I increased the tones a little bit, and I'm going to come back in now um, with the next value, which will be close to these. The when we go to the darkest, we're going to come back in and paint the darks in here. But right now, I'm going to bring the tones up to this value. If I can keep from so I'm just going to go and just add a few, just one value up. And I want to make sure that I in mixing this, it's not going to be a solid green. I want a little blue to mix in here. Just because that's a little bit too dark. But anyway, there we go. Make sure I leave. This is not the final. This is about a value of about 70, not 100. What I'm trying to do is, I want all these when they dry to be kind of interesting. Every one of those shapes I want to be interesting. So I'm mixing in some color to make sure that's interesting. And I'm all about being interesting. Not much detail, just putting in the color at this, whatever the color is at this particular value level. Yeah, try to raise those values just a hair. There we go. That's kind of more what I wanted right there. For my color, I'm referencing back to this. Too dark. There we go. I'm just after that next value. Not the dark value yet. And I'm not getting into too much detail, just painting those shapes. What a concept, just painting the shapes. I want to keep mixing up those colors a little bit on the cool side. I keep mixing it, going back. This up here is going to have a little more blue in it. Again, this isn't the darkest yet. Still going to be it's just that lighter one yet. Oops. That value is already in place. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so I got one more value in there to put in. You can see how the violet kind of just pokes its head through here. It's a little bit too dark over here, but I'm gonna leave that. That's fine. There's one more value in here. And one down here. There'll be a dark black line, a little bit of a line on this one. But most of this is going to be this value right here. That's the doorway. So I'm going down. I read a white line right there on this value. See that white line? I'm going to leave that white right there. I'm going to leave this one. This door here doesn't get side of the house, doesn't get painted yet. It's pretty light. Coming down. A little bit too dark over here, but that'll be fine. It's gonna be darkened anyway. Got a little bit of a blossom I'm gonna fix real quick here. And that line goes across here. And having that green, hearing that subtle green, that tree, you see it makes it even more three-dimensional. And then when I put the last one on there, I think it'll be really pop. I'm gonna leave plenty of sky here, not get carried. I don't want to use that yellow green. It forces people to look at it, and that's not what I'm the key actor in this story I'm telling. The tree is not the key actor, so I don't want to make that, if you know what I mean, that greening color that's yellow, lots of yellow in it. I want this to be a little more subtle. And I'm not going to paint this orangey trees in the background for the same reason. I don't want it to overtake. So we got some trees right in here. And I really want the key actor to be the house in this play I have. That was too dark there, but now if that's drying, I'm going to come back in now with a little more detail. And this is where we want to paint the next value on this chart, on this painting. And I'm going to go for the dark, so it looks to me like that's going to be pretty dark. Using a broad brush, I don't want to be too detailed. That's going to be dark. That's going to be darker. So just with that much, adding one more value, look how things begin to really shape up with my house. Um, just by adding a few more values in here, makes a huge difference. Leave that white. Now, see if I can do this again. Oh, I want to put some up in here too. On the color painting. I like really focusing and not putting much detail. Very loose. Yeah, that'd make a nice painting. This would make a nice painting if I could do that. See if I can. I'm coming back with much darker. This will have more detail in it. So I'm working on, I want to really see if I can make this nice and loose. Just try to put in those key shapes I see in there and not get too hung up on all that detail. This is not the point where you're painting needles. You know, pine needles. I'm charge some of these colors. Charging is putting another color in while it's wet, just to give me some variation. So I'm charging some of these colors and adding something. I'll come over. It looks like it's very gray, not fully dark. Again, I don't want to paint details. I'm just going to do this. I'll come back and fix that a little bit. I'm going to add one more value when I get over there. This is going to be a lot darker. And it really, where it starts popping. Look at that, what a difference that makes. Try not to paint a bunch of details. Gotta slap myself if I try that. All right, I'm trying not to paint details. Hope you guys are having as much fun as I am.
Definitely.
Good. That's what I like to hear. I knew Patsy would have something to say about fun. She has fun wherever she is. Trying to vary up some of these colors I'm using. I don't want to just put stark black. I want to have maybe something interesting. So I put a little violet in here. We'll see how that dries. I'm gonna go with just a little smaller brush for a couple of these details here. See if I can leave a little bit of that. There we go. Look how the underpainting colors affect this next darker lettered value I'm putting on now. Has a big impact. I'm gonna leave that little tree off there. It's not important.
Ron, I've always enjoyed the idea of the underpainting. So now that it's obvious to see,
Yeah, see all that?
it, yeah,
This one's a little bit too dark up here, but I think we can adjust that a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping using cold colors down here. Not a lot of detail, just putting some lines in here. I want this just to be a little darker value right here. You know, so I'm not painting every one of these pickets, just enough to suggest that there are some pickets in there. Some pickets to pick, you know what I mean? I'll get that just a little darker right along there if I can. Yeah, maybe that'll do it. That's what I wanted. A little bit more like that. Not painting every one of those little details up there. I just want to get a value that represents that shape. Yeah, come up and add some values up here. Again, I'm gonna just, I want to connect some of that purple color in there if I can. Yeah, come on, more purple. Come on, there we go. Just want to connect, so it connects to the house a little bit. Gonna charge a little bit of that with some other color. Just so it, see, you just add some color to that spot and let it mingle a little bit. Kind of hold my brush at an angle so it doesn't look like a brush stroke. Yeah, I like those. I love that violet up in there. Yeah. Connects the, I think it connects a little bit to the house because it's kind of a violet color. Now, let's see if I can soften up a few of those lines. I just soften up some of those lines so it looks more like a tree. I don't like these hard lines. I could go back and soften that. Value's just not right. And you can do that. Okay, I'm gonna wet that. The tree is too dominating. I don't want that. It's about the house. Yeah, something more like that. Fix this value right here. And got that right. I put a line across there. And maybe just darken this a little bit. Yeah, a little more of a shadow there. Okay. Maybe a suggestion of a little more of a shadow up here. It'd be indirect lighting hit that. Yeah, that's better. And the same thing over on this side. Just, even though it's not sunlight, you just still get a little bit of a shadow over there. And that door, what I realize is not a door. It's the side of the. So I'm gonna start putting some. The value I saw here. And it looks like there's one here. And there's one along the back too of the porch. Look how that shadow made a difference. Dude. And then we'll go up from the bottom, make it darker on the bottom. Right along here. Some of those values, you gotta be careful. I don't want it to take over the whole house. And I don't like this dark line back here. Maybe better if I darken this, it might, yeah, that fixes that a little bit. All right, so that's kind of what I've ended up with. And then if I want, I can put some foreground in there. Which gives us one more level of depth. Got to put a little purple in with that. Yeah, you say, well, purple, Ron, yep. I know, crazier things have happened. Gives me that next level of dark. And then I'm gonna smooth it out. See what happens. Yeah, I don't know if that's any good or not. I don't like that little darks. We'll see how that dries. Okay. How'd everybody doing? How are you doing?
Hard to say.
All right. So, okay, let's see what you got there. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah. Hold on, pull that up a little bit. I like the values there. That's great, Patsy. Nice. Now that you have next level details, but that's really coming out nice. I like it nice and loose. Anybody else? Okay, Marilyn? Oh my, lovely. Boy, that came out nice, didn't it? How do
Boy,
you like it?
I'm liking it okay. I got a little of like broken window. Some
Yeah.
of my drawing is a little off, but that's okay. Nobody else knows
That's
but you and
correct.
me.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm getting there.
Yep, for sure. Anybody else want to show some progress?
Ron? I'm using my phone today.
Yeah, okay. Hold on, let me remove this one. All right, Rob, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah. Wow, that's nice. Oh, the values.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the way you're paying attention to the values. That's going to pay off for you really well. Nice work.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love the looseness of
nice.
it. Very nicely done. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely nice. Now you come back with the dark color. The next level of darkness is going to be some more of your details. So you'll come back
Thank-
in. Yes,
Thank
nice.
you.
Man.
Ron, could I see your work again? Up close to the
Okay.
camera.
All right. Let's see if I can. I'll just hold it. Maybe that'll be the.
Closer, closer. Oh,
There we go.
Mhm.
It's
Okay,
you see, it's pretty loose.
I like the multicolored trees.
Yeah, a little violet in the trees. But what's amazing about painting this way is when you get those values right, all that, leave that white, and then you got some darks. It just really says so much, I think.
I love that rooftop there on the right.
Thank you. So I can still come in with any details I want to put in. So I'm looking at this. So a couple things I need to do now. It's dry. I do need to darken up to make the statement about that. There's quite a few little things I want to fix. And this is the detail part of it. I just want enough to suggest it. This is where some people, including me, get a little carried away. Just enough to suggest that those are there. Now I can come back in, just clean up some of these spots with my small brush. Right up here, I want to just put a shape like this at the rooftop. So just a little things like that. I want to adjust there's a little, I think just needs to be a little bit darker along here. Yeah, that gives me what I wanted there. I think I want, that looks good here. I want probably this to be just a little bit darker. And I want this to stand out a little bit more. helps me define that little line right here. Yeah, just a few accents make a huge difference. And underneath this Eve, I'm just going to put a little bit of a line, not much detail, just enough to suggest that. And I'm going to soften the lines to be consistent with the other parts of the painting. And that helps that pop a little bit. And then if we wanted to accentuate these things here, as soon as I find a different color, I can just suggest this just enough to suggest that. Make sure it's not getting too dark. So I just pulled some of those off. There we go. Just a couple of them's all I want to do. Just enough to suggest that there are. See, I just want to get the eye to think what's going on there. I like it when you let the viewer's eye do more of the work. And that's when sometimes the edges don't really matter. The shapes matter. The overall shape. Yeah, just with that little detail, look at the difference it makes. Not a lot. And along here. And here.
That's why you're the teacher.
What's that?
I said, that's why you're the teacher.
Yeah, it's starting to come together, isn't it? And then over here, I need a little definition. I like the accident of these little shape right here, kind of an accident. But this, okay, just a little more. One more value over here. That just looks too dark, too light. I mean, yeah, that's better. That value is much better. Still says the same thing without drawing too much attention. I don't like this spot here for some reason. Not sure why. I wonder if I lighten this up a little bit, it would make a difference. Okay, soften up some of these edges over here. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, that's what it looks like close up.
Oh, nice.
Got a little something there. I don't know what that was. That's just a little personality mark here. Kind of like a blemish on your face, you know, birthmark. So yeah, mine is pretty. Look how much different it is. This is the way it should be seen 15 feet away. That's the way it should be seen as a watercolor painting. But if you look at it close, it's really rough. I like it like that. Look at not a lot of detail in there, but look at the shapes when you look at it like they're supposed to. Okay, anybody else want to share?
I had to stop because mine was too wet.
Okay.
So
I'll be brave.
Oh, that's just absolutely gorgeous.
hmm
Absolutely gorgeous. It has such character to it, Marilyn. You're muted.
I got a little off on my drawing, but that's okay.
No, I think
think-
that hey, I wouldn't worry about that. What a beautiful painting.
I'm very pleased for me personally. I struggle with too many hard edges.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with some of these softer passages.
Yes, yes. I love it.
Thank you. Thank
Anybody
you.
else want to
Peter.
share? Yeah, anybody else want to share?
Well, I just want to say that it's a wonderful example to work with. I don't know how you found it, but a lot of angles.
Yeah,
And
thank you. Anybody else? How did it go, Dave? How did the day go for you, except for the little glitch in the beginning? And would you like to do another one like this, or would you like to do next? Or you just say, Ron, do you ever tell us what to do?
who are you
Ron?
talking to? Oh,
Anybody?
who are you talking to?
Anybody?
Oh,
Anybody that'll listen? Is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I
I
think it's,
want, go ahead, honey.
I think it's good practice to do the value study.
You like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Jennifer, you said you like the value study?
I think it's good practice. I didn't say I liked it.
It is good practice. I think it makes a big difference. I think some people get to where they don't need to do it. But I would say that right now I'm trying to figure out how I would do that on a portrait. I can see it with a full figure, but just the face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would apply, but I'm working on that right now. So when I do a little playing when I'm have free time. What else what would you like to do next? Anybody have a input, suggestions?
Ron, I'd really like to include a figure or two.
Yeah, I have that down. Yeah,
Okay, good.
I almost put one in here.
Mine still, I practice those carrot people and they still look contrived,
Oh
so
my.
not
Okay,
happy.
sure. Anybody
I-
else?
Well, I was going to say that I do want to do this more than once,
Okay,
over and over. I think it's
Okay.
good practice and it's fun.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'll be quiet.
Yeah, I think actually I think it's the way to do a landscape. I think landscapes especially, I think you just get the values screwed up. At least the landscapes I've done, I look back at them and the values are off, and I think it just doesn't doesn't pop enough. Like, this to me is much more convincing because the values are right than some of the other things I've done as far as landscapes. So good point. Anybody else?
Oh, I'm also interested in learning about people and objects.
Okay. So we'll add some people and objects to it, the next one. How about that?
That'd be great. Thank you.
I'll send it out to you, and this will be available on Zoom. I'll send you a link if you want to watch it. And especially you want to watch where you don't see anything on the beginning of the video. I'll probably crop that out. Anyway, have a great day, and
Thank you,
really
Ron,
enjoyed it
Yeah,
very much.
thank you, Ron.
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thank you.